May 19th, 2016, Thursday of the 7th week in Ordinary Time.
A reading from the letter of St. James. Come now, you rich, weep and wail over your impending miseries. Your wealth has rotted away, your clothes have become moth-eaten, your gold and silver have corroded, and that corrosion will be a testimony against you. It will devour your flesh like a fire. You have stored up treasure for the last days. Behold, the wages you withheld from the workers who harvested your fields are crying aloud, and the cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord of hosts. You have lived on earth in luxury and pleasure. You have fattened your hearts for the day of slaughter. You have condemned. You have murdered the righteous one. He offers you no resistance. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. This is the way of those whose trust is folly, the end of those contented with their lot. Like sheep they are herded into the netherworld. Death is their shepherd, and the upright rule over them. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Quickly their form is consumed, the netherworld is their palace. But God will redeem me from the power of the netherworld by receiving me. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Fear not when a man grows rich, when the wealth of his house becomes great, for when he dies he shall take none of it. His wealth shall not follow him down. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs. Though in his lifetime he counted himself blessed, they will praise you for doing well for yourself. He shall join the circle of his forebears, who shall never more see light. Blessed are the poor in spirit, the kingdom of heaven is theirs.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus said to his disciples, Anyone who gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to Christ, amen, I say to you, will surely not lose his reward. Whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a great millstone were put around his neck and he were thrown into the sea. If your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life maimed than with two hands to go into Gehenna, into the unquenchable fire. And if your foot causes you to sin, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life crippled than with 2 feet to be thrown into Gehenna. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. Better for you to enter into the kingdom of God with 1 eye than with 2 eyes to be thrown into Gehenna, where their worm does not die and the fire is not quenched. Everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if salt becomes insipid, with what will you restore its flavor? Keep salt in yourselves, and you will have peace with one another. The Gospel of the Lord.
May 19th, Thursday of the 7th week in Ordinary Time. The first reading comes from James 5, 1-6. In this passage, James continues with the idea that those who are rich are not necessarily blessed. He suggests that they got their riches through acts of social injustice, that they didn't pay the worker who had worked for them, the day worker, and very often for the day worker this was a question of survival, that they exploited others, and therefore, while on earth they had a life of comfort and luxury, when the judgment comes, they'll pay the price, because they have been unjust, therefore God will expect a recompense from them. Tertullian, one of the church fathers, says, that which is in excess is robbed from the poor. God has given certain people more so that they might share it with those who need. If they don't share it, in a sense they've robbed it from them. The Gospel is from Mark 9:41 to 50. This is a series of short sayings that are tied together. If anyone gives you a cup of water to drink because you belong to the Christ, that person would be rewarded. So it's simply an idea that if somebody serves the kingdom, even by helping those who are preaching the gospel, they'll receive their reward. However, if someone causes a little one, now a little one could refer either to children or to the innocent, the ananim, those who have nothing of their own. If one causes that person to sin, it's better if he put a great millstone around his neck and throw himself into the water and drown. Because by doing this, the person has not only sinned himself, but brought a person down to the underworld. There really was innocent. There really was a child of God. Jesus goes on, and in a very Jewish way, he says, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. This is a Jewish way of speaking because it's exaggerated, a little bit larger than life. Jesus doesn't intend this to be taken literally. Origen, one of the church fathers, had problems with sexual temptation, so he literally cut it off. And that's not what Jesus intends. He simply asks us to prioritize what is the center of our life and what is not. And then to make sacrifices that are necessary so that that which is the center might be lived. And finally, he says salt is a good thing, but if you become insipid, it's no good. We have to be that flavor, that zest, which gives vitality to the world. If we're not, then we've missed the mark. We've wasted our life. And so we have to be filled with joy, with enthusiasm, that others can see that we have a treasure that we want to share with them. And may God bless us.